Ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to know the secret to making her fall harder for you, it's not about chasing her every moment, saying the right things, or doing everything she expects. In fact, it's the opposite. There's a simple, yet powerful truth that most men overlook. The way you handle the space between you two, the way you pull back and let her go, this is when the magic happens. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does letting her go make her fall for me more? Well, trust me when I say that when you let a woman go, she'll start to see you in a whole new light. It messes with her emotions, makes her appreciate you more, and ultimately brings her closer. But here's the thing, this isn't about playing games. It's about understanding that sometimes less is more, and letting her feel the absence will ignite a longing she didn't even know she had. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to break down why this works and why women will fall harder for you when you give them the space they need to realize your value. Trust me, this is something every man needs to know. So, don't go anywhere. You're going to want to hear this. When it comes to relationships, one of the most powerful things a man can do is to give a woman space, even when he wants to be with her all the time. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive. Why would you ever take a step back if you're interested in someone? The truth is, men often fall into the trap of pursuing a woman, thinking that constant attention, endless compliments, and being always available is the way to win her over. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Women appreciate attention, but they also crave their independence. And it's in that space, that distance, that they begin to realize how much they truly value a man. When you let a woman go, whether it's emotionally or physically, it forces her to pause and reflect. It creates an absence in her life that she will start to feel. And here's the thing, this absence isn't a bad thing. It's not about ignoring her or disappearing completely. It's about not being so easily accessible, not always being the one to reach out, not always being the one to initiate. The idea is to let her see that you have your own life, your own interests, your own goals, and that your world isn't entirely focused on her. This shift in dynamic to something remarkable. When she's used to having you around all the time, her thoughts about you become routine. But when you step back and create a little bit of space, you create mystery. And mystery is magnetic. It makes her curious, wondering where you are, what you're doing, and if you're thinking about her as much as she's thinking about you. It sparks a kind of emotional desire that she can't get from the everyday interactions. It's not about playing games, it's about letting her experience a moment of longing, and longing is powerful. When a woman feels that space between you two, it becomes a time for her to really reflect on the connection you share. It's easy to take someone for granted when they're always around, always available, always giving attention. But when you pull back, she starts to ask herself questions. What does he mean to me? What would my life be like without him? That self-reflection forces her to see the value you bring to her life. The simple act of letting her go for a while forces her to appreciate your presence and what it means to her. Now, this doesn't mean you should play with her emotions, manipulate her, or use absence as a way to make her chase you. It's about striking the balance between being emotionally available when it matters and giving her the space to miss you. You have to be willing to allow her the room to see your worth, to see how much you enrich her life, without feeling like you're always right there, ready to be at her beck and call. Another key factor here is that by giving her space, you're showing her that you have confidence. You're showing her that you're not desperate, that you're not needy, and that you don't rely on her to fill the void in your life. And let's face it, confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have. When you demonstrate that you're not emotionally dependent on her, she feels more secure in the relationship. Women are drawn to men who are independent, who have their own life and passions outside of the relationship, and who aren't afraid to take a step back when needed. The trick is to understand that relationships need balance. Constant closeness can create dependency, but giving her the space she needs creates a stronger emotional connection. It's about quality, not quantity. It's about making her realize that when you do give her your time, your attention, and your affection, it's because you truly want to, not because you're doing it out of obligation. So, next time you find yourself in a situation where you're tempted to always be the one reaching out, always the one planning the next date, always the one who's there, take a step back. Let her experience the void. Let her wonder about you for a moment. And when you do come back together, you'll find that she's not only missed you, but she's also valued you more because of the space you gave her to reflect on what you bring to the table. This isn't a trick or a game. It's simply recognizing the importance of maintaining your own identity, your own life, while still being emotionally available when it counts. You'll find that the more you embrace this space and allow her to miss you, the deeper your connection will become. One of the most essential qualities that women find irresistible in a man is his ability to maintain his own life and passions outside of the relationship. A man who is constantly busy with his own goals, hobbies, and pursuits is far more attractive than someone who revolves entirely around his partner. When a man has a sense of purpose and a life that is independent of the woman he's interested in, it creates a natural level of respect and admiration. Women appreciate a man who is driven, who has ambition, and who is fully immersed in his own world. It shows that he is not desperate for attention, and it provides an element of mystery that can draw a woman in even more. When you let her see that you have a full and satisfying life, it's incredibly powerful. It sends the message that you're not waiting around for her to define your worth or happiness. You don't need her to complete you. Instead, you show her that your happiness and fulfillment come from within, from your own passions, and from the pursuits you've cultivated over time. This independence is incredibly magnetic. It lets her see that you're a man who is comfortable in his own skin, confident in his own abilities, and content with who he is, regardless of the relationship. The truth is, women can sense neediness from a mile away. It's not just about being emotionally available or attentive, though those are important aspects of any relationship, but being available in a way that doesn't undermine your own self-worth. If you make it seem like your entire world revolves around her, you unintentionally create an imbalance. You may find that she starts to lose interest, or worse, takes you for granted. But when she knows that you have your own life and interests, she respects you more because you're not relying on her to fulfill your emotional needs. In fact, it makes her appreciate the time you spend together even more. This isn't to say that you should be emotionally distant or unavailable. It's about finding the right balance, showing her that you care, but not in a way that makes her feel overwhelmed or pressured. When you maintain your own life, you give her space to miss you, to think about you, and to reflect on the relationship. It also allows you to pursue your personal growth, which can only benefit the relationship in the long run. A man who is busy with his passions, career, and personal development is far more interesting and attractive than someone who sits around waiting for a woman to occupy his time. It shows that you're a person with a future, someone who has goals and ambitions beyond the confines of the relationship. You've already built a foundation for your own happiness, and that foundation doesn't depend on the approval or presence of anyone else. This is the type of man who makes a woman feel secure in the relationship because she knows that he is emotionally mature and self-sufficient. Moreover, this independence doesn't just make you more attractive, it also helps build a healthier relationship. When both partners have their own fulfilling lives and goals, it takes the pressure off the relationship. You don't become so dependent on one another that you start to feel suffocated. Instead, you become more balanced, more relaxed, and more supportive of each other's individual dreams and ambitions. This freedom allows both partners to grow individually and as a couple, creating a stronger, more resilient bond. It's important to recognize that women don't want to be the center of your universe all the time. They value their own independence as well. By giving her space and showing that you have your own life, you're creating an environment of mutual respect and freedom. This dynamic encourages both partners to be their best selves, individually and together. It fosters trust, healthy boundaries, and a sense of security, which are the cornerstones of any successful relationship. Finally, letting a woman see that you have a full and interesting life outside of her allows her to see you in a new light. She will be drawn to your energy, your confidence, and your ability to live life on your own terms. She will begin to miss you when you're not around, but more importantly, she will come to value you for the man you are. Someone who is complete on his own, but who also chooses to share his life with her. It's this balance of independence and connection that creates a lasting, fulfilling relationship. When a man allows a woman to miss him, it creates a level of longing that is essential for attraction to build. Often, we can take each other for granted when we're always available, when we're always around. We can grow too comfortable, too familiar, and we lose that spark that initially made the relationship exciting. However, when a man steps back a little, allows some space, and doesn't always fulfill her every need or desire, it forces her to reflect on him, on his qualities, and on what he brings to her life. This absence allows the woman to realize how important the man truly is to her. It makes her miss his energy, his presence, and the way he makes her feel. Creating a little space in the relationship doesn't mean ignoring her or playing games. It means finding the balance between showing up for her and allowing her time to appreciate you. It's about allowing her to reflect on the relationship and, in doing so, deepening her feelings for you. When you pull away just a little, she begins to think about how much you add to her life, which increases her emotional investment. The key to making a woman miss you is to give her the opportunity to miss you in the first place. If you're always available, always right there, she doesn't have the time or the room to realize what you bring to her world. The key here is to create healthy emotional distance. It's important not to overwhelm her with constant attention, constant affection, or constant communication. If you always show up without fail, without ever stepping back, you risk turning into someone who's just always there, and that's when the attraction starts to fade. A woman wants to feel like you have your own life. She wants to see that you have passions, interests, and goals that go beyond her. She doesn't want to feel like she's the only thing keeping you going. By allowing her some space to reflect on you, you're letting her develop a deeper appreciation for who you are and what you contribute to the relationship. She will begin to miss the way you make her feel, the way you connect, and the way you bring joy and stability into her life. The concept of absence making the heart grow fonder is incredibly powerful when it comes to relationships. When you pull away, even if just temporarily, you ignite the emotional desire for connection. A woman will begin to remember what it was like when you were around, how you made her laugh, how you shared intimate moments, and how you communicated with her. The space allows her to realize what is truly valuable about your relationship, which can make her feel more connected to you when you return. Taking a step back also gives her the space to be her own person. Too often in relationships, there can be a tendency to become overly dependent on each other. By allowing her the room to miss you, you're giving her space to grow, to focus on herself, and to continue being the person she was before you came into her life. This is a healthy dynamic that fosters respect and independence within the relationship. It also ensures that when you do spend time together, it's more meaningful, more special, and more enriching. When you allow her the time and space to miss you, it also has an impact on how you approach each other when you reconnect. There's an energy that builds when you're apart. The reunion becomes something to look forward to, something exciting, and that's where the passion and romance can reignite. It's not about being absent for the sake of playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about letting both partners breathe and grow, so when they come back together, they do so with a deeper appreciation for one another. Another important point is that when you let a woman miss you, you also show her that you're not clingy or desperate. You're not trying to keep her around out of need or insecurity. Instead, you're showing that your relationship is built on mutual respect and genuine connection, not a constant need to be with each other every minute. This sense of confidence in your own life, in your own pursuits, and in your own ability to stand on your own 2 feet is incredibly attractive. It shows that you're a man who values his independence and that you respect her enough to let her have hers as well. In the end, the space you create is not about creating distance in a negative sense, but about allowing the relationship to breathe, allowing the emotions to deepen, and allowing the connection to grow stronger. When you step back, you allow her to step forward into a space where she can reflect, grow, and ultimately come to understand just how much you mean to her. This absence can build longing, passion, and excitement, creating a dynamic where both partners are excited to come back together, even stronger and more connected than before. When a man understands the importance of emotional availability and invests time and effort into being emotionally supportive, it changes the entire dynamic of the relationship. Women crave emotional connection, and they want to feel that they are supported not just physically or financially, but emotionally as well. The truth is, women often find themselves drawn to men who know how to connect with them on a deeper level, emotionally speaking. This connection is essential because it creates a foundation built on trust, vulnerability, and understanding. When a man can be open, express his feelings, and listen to hers, it not only makes her feel secure, but also builds a bond that stands the test of time. When you are emotionally available, it allows the woman to let her guard down. Many women, especially those who have been hurt before, are often hesitant to fully open up to someone. They might hold back their emotions or hide their vulnerabilities because they fear being rejected or hurt again. However, when a man shows that he is emotionally available and trustworthy, it gives her the safety she needs to be herself. This level of connection encourages a woman to invest her emotions and affections fully. She will know that you are someone she can rely on, someone who won't judge her or dismiss her feelings. Emotional availability allows her to be her authentic self without the fear of being misunderstood or dismissed. Moreover, being emotionally supportive means that a man is not afraid of confrontation or difficult conversations. Relationships are not always smooth sailing. They require communication, understanding, and the ability to work through disagreements. A man who can stay calm in the face of conflict, who listens without interruption, and who approaches challenges with empathy and patience is a man who understands how to build trust and keep the relationship strong. Conflict resolution becomes a key aspect of emotional availability. It's not about avoiding difficult situations, but facing them together, finding solutions, and learning from the experience. When a woman sees that a man can handle tough situations with grace and patience, it builds her respect and affection for him. Another aspect of emotional availability is being attuned to her needs and desires. Women often appreciate the little things, the acts of kindness, the gestures of affection, and the quiet moments where you show that you are truly present with her. Being emotionally available means recognizing when she's upset or needs reassurance. It's about paying attention to her mood and understanding her needs without her having to say anything. This level of attention and care demonstrates that you value her, not just as a partner, but as an individual. When you show that you are emotionally invested in her happiness and well-being, it creates a deeper sense of love and appreciation. The connection built on emotional availability also leads to increased intimacy. Intimacy isn't just about physical closeness, it's about emotional closeness. When you are emotionally available, it allows both partners to feel more connected and close in ways that go beyond just the surface level. It's about sharing your fears, your dreams, your hopes, and your weaknesses, and being vulnerable with each other. This emotional intimacy deepens the bond and strengthens the overall connection between the two of you. When a woman feels emotionally supported, it brings her closer to you in ways that go beyond the physical attraction. Furthermore, emotional availability strengthens the foundation of the relationship. In a healthy relationship, both partners should be able to express their emotions without fear of being dismissed or invalidated. A man who is emotionally available validates his partner's feelings and emotions. He does not belittle her thoughts or make her feel as though her emotions are irrelevant. He makes her feel heard and understood. This validation is essential because it creates a sense of security and peace in the relationship. When a woman knows that her feelings matter to you, she feels more valued and appreciated, and this builds a strong foundation for a long-lasting connection. Emotional availability also cultivates a sense of trust and commitment. When a man is emotionally open, it sends the message that he is ready to be vulnerable, to connect, and to invest in the relationship. This creates a sense of loyalty and dedication as both partners understand that they are in the relationship together. When a man shows that he is emotionally invested, it demonstrates that he is serious about the relationship and is willing to put in the effort to make it work. This deep level of trust and commitment is what allows a relationship to grow and evolve. In conclusion, being emotionally available is not just a preference, but a necessity for a relationship to thrive. It builds a bond that goes beyond physical attraction or superficial connections. Emotional availability allows a woman to feel secure, supported, and appreciated, and it fosters a deep emotional connection that forms the foundation of a strong, lasting relationship. When a man is emotionally available, he is not just creating a relationship with a woman, he is building a partnership based on trust, mutual respect, and understanding. When a man understands the concept of letting a woman have space and freedom, he taps into one of the most powerful forces in relationships. It's common knowledge that when people feel suffocated, it can push them away, and this is especially true in romantic relationships. Women, like anyone, need the ability to have their own time, space, and autonomy. This doesn't mean that they don't care or aren't invested in the relationship. It simply means they need to maintain a sense of individuality and independence. A man who understands this dynamic is not controlling or overly dependent, but rather secure in himself and confident in his relationship. One of the key elements here is trust. If a man is constantly hovering over a woman or attempting to control her actions, it creates an atmosphere of mistrust and tension. Women will feel as though they cannot make their own decisions or pursue their interests without fear of judgment or punishment. When a man truly respects his partner, he trusts her enough to give her the space she needs. Trust is the cornerstone of any strong relationship, and without it, resentment can build up, leading to unnecessary conflict and distance between partners. Moreover, when a man allows his partner space, it gives her the opportunity to miss him. Relationships that are always in close proximity can lead to a sense of complacency. The excitement of the initial phases of a relationship can fade if two people are constantly around each other with no breathing room. The natural rhythm of attraction can become stifled. However, by allowing a woman to have her own space, whether it's for pursuing her hobbies, spending time with friends, or simply relaxing alone, she starts to appreciate the time spent together even more. The absence makes the heart grow fonder, and when she returns, she is likely to be more emotionally engaged, more appreciative, and more present. This concept of allowing space also helps prevent the feeling of being overwhelmed. Every person, regardless of gender, needs time to recharge and reflect. A woman might want to take a break from the constant interaction to focus on her personal goals, work, or mental health. Giving her this time to recharge allows her to return to the relationship feeling revitalized and ready to contribute emotionally. If a man is constantly demanding attention, it's easy for both parties to start feeling emotionally drained. Giving space is not just about physical distance, it's about creating an environment where both partners feel comfortable growing as individuals. This balance of togetherness and individuality is essential for a healthy relationship. Additionally, allowing a woman space allows her to maintain her sense of self. Women are complex individuals with their own dreams, passions, and ambitions, and they need the freedom to pursue them. When a man supports this independence, it shows that he values her as an individual, not just as a partner. He understands that she's not defined solely by her relationship with him, but by her own experiences and desires. A healthy relationship is one where both individuals can grow independently while also growing together. This balance prevents the feeling of losing oneself in the relationship, which can lead to dissatisfaction and resentment over time. On the flip side, a man who doesn't understand the importance of space may create a toxic dynamic where his partner feels trapped or stifled. If he constantly demands her time, questions her whereabouts, or expresses insecurity about her need for independence, it can cause emotional exhaustion. Over time, this behavior can lead to frustration, arguments, and the eventual breakdown of the relationship. The key is understanding that love doesn't thrive in suffocating environments. It flourishes in a place where both individuals feel free, secure, and understood. One of the most important aspects of letting a woman have space is recognizing that it's not about emotional distance, but rather physical and mental space. It's about allowing each person to be their authentic selves. Sometimes, a woman might need time to think, to process her emotions, or to just unwind in solitude. This is not a sign of disinterest, but a natural human need. A man who respects this and supports her in this need demonstrates emotional maturity. He knows that relationships require a balance between connection and space, and he's comfortable with giving her the time she needs to be herself. In turn, this builds trust and strengthens the emotional bond, allowing both individuals to thrive together and apart. Ultimately, A man who understands the importance of giving a woman space is also giving the relationship the chance to thrive. The healthiest relationships are those where both partners can be independent yet deeply connected. By giving space, a man shows that he is confident in the relationship, respects her needs, and trusts her. It's a powerful gesture that can lead to stronger emotional bonds, mutual respect, and greater satisfaction in the relationship. Allowing space doesn't mean withdrawing emotionally. It means making room for both individuals to grow and return to each other stronger, more fulfilled, and more deeply in love. This space allows each person to bring the best version of themselves into the relationship, which only enhances the connection and creates a lasting bond built on trust, respect, and understanding. One of the most powerful and often underestimated aspects of relationships is the understanding that a woman will start to miss you more when you give her the space to do so. Men, especially those deeply invested in their relationships, might sometimes feel a need to be constantly present and available, thinking this shows commitment. While spending quality time together is crucial, there's an undeniable truth that when people have the time and opportunity to miss each other, it fosters a deeper longing and appreciation. In relationships, absence really does make the heart grow fonder, and this principle applies strongly when a woman has the emotional freedom to reflect on her partner without feeling overwhelmed by his presence. When a man shows his ability to give his partner space, he allows the emotional bond to deepen, and the relationship matures in a way that can make both partners more emotionally invested. The idea behind giving space is to avoid the trap of taking each other for granted. When a woman knows that you're not always there at her beck and call, she begins to value the moments you do share. The constant companionship in any relationship can lead to a certain level of complacency. Both partners, while spending a lot of time together, can fall into a routine where there's little excitement or anticipation. Giving her the space to live her own life and focus on herself, whether it's her career, hobbies, or friendships, creates a healthy distance that makes the time spent together much more meaningful. It also gives both partners the chance to miss the little things, the conversations, the physical closeness, or even just sharing quiet moments together. This naturally fosters a desire to reconnect and strengthens the emotional connection. It's important to realize that letting a woman have space doesn't mean withdrawing from her emotionally. Instead, it's about offering her the room to pursue her own life and come back to the relationship with more to share. It's allowing her to continue growing, evolving, and discovering new things about herself. A woman who is allowed to have her space will often find herself reflecting on her partner, missing his presence, and cherishing the time they do spend together. This separation provides the time for both individuals to grow individually, which in turn allows the relationship to evolve and mature. It's this kind of growth, both as individuals and as a couple, that builds a stronger and more lasting connection. Another important aspect is the recognition that women are not just partners in a relationship, but individuals with their own desires, aspirations, and needs. While being in a relationship is a fulfilling and essential part of life, maintaining a sense of self is equally important. By allowing space, a man shows that he respects her as an individual. He recognizes that her worth is not solely defined by their relationship. This self-respect is what makes a relationship healthy and balanced. When she feels that her partner trusts her enough to allow her the space to grow, she feels empowered and more emotionally secure. This freedom, ironically, helps her realize the value of her partner even more. She knows that he's confident enough to not cling to her constantly, and that makes her appreciate him even more. When a woman starts missing you, it's often because she begins to reflect on the positive qualities you bring into her life. This feeling of longing is not just about physical attraction, but about the emotional connection that develops over time. When she has the space to miss you, she's also likely to think about the things she loves about you, the way you make her laugh, how you treat her with respect, or the moments of genuine connection you share. These thoughts are what make the desire to be close again so much stronger. The longing for someone in a healthy relationship isn't about a sense of desperation or neediness, but about a deeper emotional connection that has been cultivated over time. It's about remembering the little things that make you special to each other. In some cases, if a man is always present and never gives a woman the chance to miss him, he risks the possibility of her taking him for granted. If she feels that she can always rely on him to be around, the relationship may lose some of its excitement and energy. She might not fully appreciate the depth of what he brings to the table because she never gets the chance to miss him and reflect on how important he is. A little distance allows her to come to terms with the fact that he's a significant part of her life, and the time spent apart only highlights how much she truly cares for him. Moreover, giving her space can also help prevent emotional dependency. Relationships thrive when both partners are secure and confident in themselves and in the relationship. Emotional dependency, where one person feels the need to constantly seek reassurance or attention from their partner, can lead to resentment over time. When a man gives his partner the space to live her life, he helps foster a sense of independence in her. This independence is healthy for both people because it ensures that each person brings their best self to the relationship. Instead of constantly seeking validation from one another, both individuals become more secure in their own identity, which strengthens the relationship overall. Finally, understanding the importance of letting a woman miss you is about creating balance in the relationship. It's about knowing when to step back so that the emotional connection can grow stronger. By giving space, a man shows that he's not just committed to the relationship, but also to the well-being of his partner as an individual. The time apart becomes a tool for building a more profound connection as both partners come to appreciate each other's presence in a more meaningful way. The key is striking that balance, not smothering each other, but allowing the love to grow through time, space, and the natural rhythm of a healthy relationship. This approach is what helps create lasting bonds and ensures that both people feel loved, respected, and valued.